I'm always waiting for a little like ding at the end. Ding.
I know. There should be a little bell there. Good
Is there
morning.
one and we just don't have it on this version?
No, it ends with a clap. It ends with a clap.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad there isn't. It would, in my mind, that would sound like a clown honk, like right at the end. Yeah. No, I would not. Good morning, Sammy. Hi.
Good morning.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to AI for Anyone Live. I'm Tim Lockey.
Hi,
And
everybody. Sorry, go ahead. You already said my name.
and my co-host Sammy Zoss and producer and okay, let's be clear. Sammy does all the work. I show up ready to go. And this month we're talking about AI literacy and AI fluency.
Fluency February, and today I decided dinosaurs because
Oh, right, yeah. I like to have a different shirt every day. I'm like that's not my thing, but I love that it's yours.
I actually only do it for Wednesdays.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. But it's my new obsession. So
cool.
It's been fun.
This has been a long obsession. I feel like you got this in
I think we're about
Thanksgiving, right?
Oh,
that's almost a half a year.
One.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So yeah, no, you're right. It's been quite a long obsession now, I guess. But
yeah. Do you have a new shirt every day? Like, how many shirts do you have?
I actually have worn this one. I was going to get a new shirt for every Wednesday.
Oh my gosh.
That's a bad idea.
That's commitment. Yeah, that's
well, it's just expensive more than anything.
Right. Yeah.
So I decided.
Okay, a lot is going on in the AI world.
So much.
Yeah. Right. So
where were you going with that? Yeah, I was like, tell me a little bit here.
Well, I'm watching the work that you're doing, and there are like every day there's new tools that are coming in and just going crazy with what they can do. So whether that's OpenClaw, which is nuts, and in the last week I both downloaded it and then removed it from my computer because holy cow.
Nice.
So there's OpenClaw. Agents are now hitting full stride. They are not like when they first came out, there's a lot of like joking around. They're not a joke anymore. They're like very real. I'm coding apps in days that would have taken weeks.
Yes.
And then I'm watching you do absolute magic when it comes to what you can build really quickly. And so I feel like
I'm literally rebuilding some of the stuff for today's episode while we're speaking right now.
Absolutely. So yeah. And so I think that there's just such a crazy, amazing amount of things that you can do with it now. But it all flows back to this idea of literacy versus fluency. I want to take a minute and talk about that. And I want to show the promptinator again. And I know we've talked about this before, but I want to show the promptinator again because I think that in my mind, early fluency starts at prompting frameworks and understanding instructions, right? Once you get that, you are well on your way to becoming more than just conversational. And I'd say right now, most users are good at chatting, which is conversational in a way, but they're really not moving past, past the chat, right? And structurally, there's so much more that you can do. And one place to start this is to I just want to pull up ChatGPT for a second and just notice a few things about it. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen here.
That is one thing I would love for us to do in an episode while you're pulling that up. The amount of changes these tools have made. Like, I realized literally this morning, the like connectors in Claude on my phone are actually specific.
Or actually, wait, what? You disappeared.
Yeah, I think I figured out whatever was being freaky earlier, and it's just continuing to do that. So we'll figure out how long that works.
Sorry. Okay. Here is wait, hold on. Will this adjust correctly? Okay. I'm gonna go back to this.
There you go.
All right, great. All right, so this is the ChatGPT window. Everybody's seen it. Like, we're all really used to this now. And what I want to point out on this is what's not on here, right? So, for example, there's no nav bar across the top, right? There's no buttons down the side. You can show them, but you don't have to, right?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Oh, I thought I muted myself.
Oh, no. Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
Now I'm muted.
Right. So the only thing on the screen is literally a box that says, "What can I help you with?" and nothing else, right? It's an input box. It's just tell me something and I will respond to whatever it is that you tell me. This is a complete inverse of everything that came before with web apps. When in a different web app, you would load up Salesforce and you'd have this wall of buttons and numbers and letters and a whole thing down the side and across the top, and you'd click on stuff and
It's
go
like
to things.
overwhelming.
Right, exactly. It was overwhelming. And it was also a barrage of stuff coming at you. And the only thing in there that you could type in was a search, right? Everything else was click and then go someplace and look at something. This is completely a responsive version of it. And it inverses everything from a I'm gonna push stuff at you to a I'm ready for you to tell me what to do. The reason that this is so important is that the power is now hidden. So when I look at something like this, I know it can only respond to what I know that it can do, right? And so if I keep the literacy level at conversational, it will respond in a conversational mode. It'll meet me exactly where I'm at. And I think that's the thing that I'm trying to point out here with literacy versus fluency is if you only get to a certain level and just stay chatting with it, you're really missing the power, right? You're really missing what it can actually deliver. And it won't tell you that because it's just a window with an input. Does that make sense?
No, it absolutely does. What's wild for me is this idea that like I'm having the inverse issue with my project. So I've created kind of a chat bot for people to
Sorry,
go
your
in.
audio is just not coming in. I can't understand you.
Can you hear me?
I can, but what's happening is that as you're talking, it's like garbling or something.
This is so fun for me. I'll be back.
Okay. All right.
Wait, is it better now?
It is, but I'm not trusting it. It might just be that you're not close enough to it. It might be that, or it might be grabbing the wrong mix.
Well, it was doing it when you were sharing screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe it was just sharing.
Because I was hearing an echo when you were hearing weird, but I back-ended Megan to see if she could hear the echo on the outside. And
Megan, thank you.
So
as always,
we'll stick with that for a second. And if it comes back, I'll just log off and log back on.
All right, that's cool.
But so I'm actually having the opposite issue because Megan said I'm echoing now. I'll come back.
Okay, all right. That's fine. I'm very glad to carry on the conversation. If you're just joining us for the first time, my name is Tim Lockey, and this is AI for Anyone Live. Sammy's going to be back in just a minute. We're talking about AI literacy versus AI fluency. And I should stop saying versus because it's not one or the other. One grows from the other, right? So it is maybe AI literacy to fluency. And a couple of shout outs here. So AI for Anyone is designed to be an AI literacy course, or I don't know if it's a course, but anyway, it's a show, and it's a literacy show. We're here to help people engage AI at whatever level that they're at and really become more literate with it. That's the intention of the show. AI fluency, and this is AI fluency February. What we are saying on this show here, even though we're a literacy based show, is that the goal is to move forward until you are more fluent and you become more fluent. The reason that's important is that in the past, especially with web tools like Salesforce, which I came up in, or any of these other web tools, if you were literate, that was good enough. It was hard to get literate in them, and if you were literate, that covered you. You could almost do anything you needed if you were just literate, right? So the real break was between illiterate on web apps or literate on web apps. And once you understood a few things about web apps, then you were probably fine. So if you understood where to go and look for a list view, for example, you would know that there's going to be a list of items. And if you clicked on one of those things in the list, then it would open a detail view. And if you understood that, you basically could get by in web apps on almost anything. Think about Google Docs. You've got a folder with a list of things in it, and then you click on the document that you want, and boom, you're inside the document and you're writing, right? That's a list view, a detail view, and then edit view. And you don't even think about that because you just do it. You just react to those things. That's what it used to get you. If you were literate in web apps, you're basically fine. Fluency in web apps, that would be if you really understood the difference in the anatomy of all of those, if you understood, behind the scenes in the admin, if you really even understood all the way back to the back end and how the database was affecting certain things, that's really what it took to be fluent. With AI is very different than that because the break isn't between AI literate and illiterate and AI literate, right? Like almost everybody can become AI literate in a matter of hours. That's why I created the course AI for Anyone, because you can get to a place of conversational immediately because the whole point is that it's just a conversational tool. That's why it works so well. You pull up ChatGPT, you look at what's on it, you can see, hey, here's the chat bar. If I start talking to it, it will start talking back to me. So you can be literate in hours, just really quickly. And if people like me come along and show you a few things, you can become, you can get pretty far by just being literate. And you can get conversational where you're having long conversations with AI. All of that works really, really well. But there's a point at which you can't, you're really struggling to get further along. And my sense is that people plateau around that. They plateau around right before, like the next step for them really is to start learning prompting frameworks and understanding how instructions work. And if you've got that, that is where you really start bumping to literate. What are you laughing at? Now you're laughing at me.
Did you see the message I put up?
No, I didn't see the message you put up. I can't read it. It's too small. You know this.
Because I'm nervous to talk in case it's still messed up.
It's so funny. No, you sound fine now.
Because you hadn't caught it yet. I was like, oh, it's too small.
No. It's fine. It's good. I'm glad. Here's what's funny. I'm going to hand it off to you because I don't have any water and I've been sick for the last couple of days. And so I am like, yeah, I am used to total chaos. It's fine. I feel like chaos is just fine, right? The stats word for chaos is stochastic. Right? So yeah.
You were making fun of me for my word choice today, and that's crazy.
You said ire. I said stochastic. Oh my gosh. My wife just brought me water. Yeah, of course I insulted you. You insult me all the time. What are you talking about?
I would never.
You call me old every episode.
That's just a fact. I don't know what to
Oh my gosh. There you go. There you go. Boom. It is on now.
Oh no.
I really do wish people could see our like green room intros where we see each other first thing. Because I'm always happy to see you. Like today I gave you a double front flip, right? When I first hopped in. Which was fun. Yeah.
Double front flip. That's gotta be harder than a double back flip, right?
I mean, a double backflip is just this. A double front flip is just if you do it.
Oh, you were literally talking about. I was thinking you were joking about actually doing flips, and I was doubling down.
Okay, yeah. So I did give Sammy the double bird this morning when I first hopped in, just because I like the react.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
it was like again, it was full of ire, and he.
See, now you're going to start
using
the word ire
Davenport.
Again. Yeah,
and I didn't know that was even a word. I thought that was just a city in Iowa, and here we are. And this is why we decided.
Speaking of literacy.
Yeah, this is why we decided perhaps we should record our intro. Like
I'm just gonna say, stochastic and ire are not in the same level when it comes to words.
One sounds snarky. And it's not ire.
Okay, yeah, one does sound snarky. Okay, all right, back to AI literacy. We can hear you now.
Okay.
It's great to have you back.
Yes, yes. So I'm updating some of the content we were going to share today, and there's a few different reasons behind that. One of them being I wanted to make sure it lined up more with what we were working on with our friends over in AI Cred. Um, because we don't need to reinvent the wheel. And I think that's one thing I've learned a lot with AI. And Jonathan even talks about this, the gentleman that worked with Nate Jones to create AI Cred. He talks about like the first time he or someone else ran it created a new prompting framework that like didn't exist, but the way it was spoke about was that it existed. And that is very interesting to me. But I think how do I say this? We see that response and sometimes we think, "Oh, I've invented something new." And the answer isn't always that you haven't, but double checking that like is this just repackaging something that already exists so I can pretend I did it or vice versa, I think is super important. And so I wanted to make sure like when I was looking at our stuff today and we even talked about it a little bit like a lot of what we learn and continue to teach in Fluency like we get this far because we are literacy like you were saying, and then our job and our goal frankly is to be like check out what's going on over here. It's why we brought Jonathan Edwards on. It's why we continually talk about AI Cred. And I was like, well, why don't we just figure out a way to like combine these two? And that is something that I love about what AI can do is I could pull in our findings and our congruency with AI Cred, then I'm like, all right, just update the materials that we've made here and
Yeah.
see what it comes out with, right? And I think we've got a certain benefit of this platform being very like, hey, we do live edit with you guys on purpose so you can see, but that also means there are sometimes where it'll pop something up and be like, wait a minute, pause. That's not exactly the way I thought it would go.
Yeah.
So, all right, what do you got here?
Okay, I want to show because you said spectra, and I think this is really interesting.
For those who
So
don't know, Spectra, I didn't say it actually. That's the framework that I was referencing though.
yeah, so I will show you. So one of the tools that we just updated the prompt generator with yesterday is if you say use Spectra or any other framework that is loaded in there, there's only 4 right now, then when it promptinates, it will give you instead of just PTCF, that's the default, but it'll give you situation, persona, expectations, constraints, tone, reference, and action. This so far has been the most advanced version of a framework that's out.
Yeah, which is crazy because yeah, it wasn't even from Jonathan that it was built, right? Like he was what
It
did you say? It was
literally,
somebody else.
I'm
He gave it
still
to somebody
unclear
else.
about what happened with that. I want to show one other thing I think is just really fun about this, by the way. So if you click on one of these buttons,
That's new.
it is new. John David built this out.
Oh,
And so
king.
what happens is if you click on that, you can't see it in the background, but let me just share the screen and give me 1 second. I'm going to do,
Oh, I'm intrigued.
okay, so I'm going to split screen this. Sorry, 1 second. Stop share and open this now in Gemini. Okay. So now I'm in Gemini and just opened this. And if I just paste, it's got all of it in it. So I can just hit paste when I get there.
Did it
So
open Gemini for you? Like, is
it
that what
did
that
open
button did?
Gemini for me, and
Okay.
then all I had to do is hit paste. Um,
Got it.
yeah,
Okay.
no, it is. We were trying to get it so that it would go all the way and actually paste it into the the box, but it doesn't
Hmm.
do that. So that and the main takeaway here is using any framework will get you further. If you think through
Yes.
the different parts, like what are the characteristics of what you're trying to do. So you can do this with other ones too. So I'll use care right here. And then if you prompt Nate, it will do this inside of care. And again, the whole goal here. So this is now context, action, results, and example. Um, and PTCF,
We're
same
looking
thing.
at your Gemini still.
Oh my gosh, I forgot. Okay, hold
I
on.
was like, wait a minute, what am I looking at here?
Okay, yep,
Sorry.
good. All right. No, you're good. Let me open a tab and just go to Promptinator. All right, and then let me just see if this is going to work. Can you see that now? You can see them side by
Yeah.
side?
No, I just see Gemini.
Man, okay.
You would have
All
to
right.
share like a whole screen.
All right, I'm going to do that then.
I did put the Promptinator up on the screen for QR code if anybody wanted to see it. I don't know if that
Oh,
QR
cool.
code works or not, but you put it in the LinkedIn chat, so I took
Okay,
that as my.
love it. Okay, look at
I
this.
do
All
see
right.
them both now.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay. And I'll start a new one here. Okay, so we're going to do not that. All right. We'll do an example here. Explain blockchain on a different example. All right.
Wait, no,
And
use
then,
that one.
okay. All right.
I was like, I
Use
don't ever
Spectra.
understand blockchain, so.
Oh my gosh. We should do a whole thing on blockchain. It is so the
I will be sick that
crypto,
day.
yeah, crypto is fine, but blockchain is one of the most fascinating technologies. All
It
right,
does. It hurts
so
my
here we
brain
go.
every time, and I'm a very smart person.
All right, here we go. You are a very smart person, and I'm
But
going
like
to
blockchain, I just can't wrap my head around.
I'm gonna like separate views, and then I'll add another one, and I'm gonna add this one. All right,
Lovely.
and then paste, and again, it just goes in.
Greetings, traveler of the fields. If you don't share this with me, I'll be so sad.
Then I
The great
probably.
ledger of the future.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. I love
You
this.
know what? I can't believe I don't have examples that are entirely Monty Python based, but I will rectify that as soon as possible.
You know what? That gets me on a whole tangent. Never mind.
But okay, so my point here, again, my point is not anything except that if you start using frameworks, it's really helpful. And I can show you the 4 frameworks here that we've got. So we've got PTCF,
Ayo.
we have Spectra, we have RICE, role, instructions, contact examples, we have care. And I think there are other ones we can add those. My point though is any prompt that you break into persona, task, context, format, or you just break into these different areas or elements of the prompt, you're going to think it through in a way that will help you think about it better. And if you describe it to the AI in those ways, it's going to understand your intent more explicitly, right?
Mm.
Um, so and this is just an easy way to do it. This is, you just type out what the role is, the instructions, all of that. And I've got examples here too. So I hate I hate typing. So I'm always just like, okay, let's do it this way.
Oh yeah.
Um,
No, I love it.
anyway, I don't know if that's helpful. Um,
Oh, now Tim disappeared. You guys, I think I'm gonna blame this on Restream today. Oh.
yeah, Restream is definitely failing us today. I would
I
say
was like,
that's
because
fair.
your setup, like every once in a while, your mic comes unplugged, and that's about the extent of like the issues you hit with
Yeah,
your tech.
right.
So that makes me feel better.
Yeah. No, yeah. Um, anyway, the point on it is break your prompts into elements, and you're going to find that you become a better prompter. And it like I don't know how to say this any more clearly. AI is prompting. At the
Oh,
end
for
of the
sure.
day, right? It is instructions layered on instructions with context that have been built from prompts that have been built from context and prompts together from instructions. Like it is just miles and miles deep. It is the new binary.
I love it so much. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So with wait, so I can hear you, but your face isn't moving. Restream is just like failing us so hardcore today. I'm just gonna say it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I probably need to save this for next week anyway, because we do need to look into it.
Okay. All right.
But I just updated a lot of our stuff to point to where our education ends and AI cred begins, kind of deal. Like
Mm-hmm.
to explain that bridge. And it's just pretty awesome. Utilizing a new tool called Super Agent. So what I might do is I'm going to give a brief, like, here's an example of where I am less AI fluent. And then I want to tangent for like the last 10 minutes of today's episode because there's just some cool stuff I want to talk about. Like, we didn't even hit SaaS apocalypse when we started, which I think is hilarious. Yeah, they're calling it SaaS apocalypse and I love it. Okay, so my little
Wait,
like
hold on. What
pin
are
up
they
on
calling
Fluency today.
Apocalypse?
I'll tell you in a second. My pin up on Fluency today. Yeah, he's about to Google it. Let the record show that I knew that before Tim. I actually, one of my lower scores was Fluency in the AI cred because Fluency isn't just your ability to understand and comprehend. It's your ability to understand and comprehend in a way that makes sense for others and makes sense for the AI.
Yep.
Right. So, and Jonathan actually talked a lot about this. It wasn't until he spoke about it when he came on our show that it really like clicked for me that, like, yes, I have great repeatable systems. I don't do a great job of explaining to others how to repeat them or using the language that points AI in the most specific direction. So understanding, like today I use the word artifact with you and you're like, wait a minute, what? Because there's artifact, you make an artifact through Canvas, you can make an artifact through code, you can make an art like, and you can make all sorts of things this way. And like understanding what is the true like language that the code or the bot, right? If you think about them like robots, what's the language that this robot is using? Because if I can use that language a little bit better, if I can be a little more fluent in the language, I will get a better output. I will be understood better. So it's the ability to be understood better. So you've got less iterations on the like work that you're trying to get done. It's why sometimes I don't mind that my fluency isn't there because I'm like, this will just take a couple back and forths and I'm good. I don't need to repeat it, whatever. But I really do have some work to do on my ability to create language that allows for clear and concise understanding of what I want in the language that most makes sense for the tool I'm using. So that's sort of like how I think of fluency. And it's just something I work on a lot. And
Did
so it
you?
helps me.
No,
helps me frame it.
it's actually an important point because
I think I audibly eye rolled when Jonathan was like, but you need to be able to do this. And I was like, no, you're lying. You're wrong.
but the language is emerging. That's the thing I think that is not obvious to people is that right now. So, OpenClaw is really, really taking the world by storm right now. And it's very interesting in what it can do. But it is not, it does not know, like there is not an established protocol for everything. And there used to be, you were doing this in this language or what C plus or Watango from way back in the day, right? Like there were languages that you were doing this. Is this in Java? Like what now?
Now it's anything.
Skills are in markup with a YAML front end. And I know that like that's what it basically means, like they're using normative language to just describe things and then the bot is running and doing things. And so yeah, I think it is very, very interesting. So yeah. Okay, well, we're gonna do some of this content next week. But I've got a couple of questions that
folks that are only here for like fluency, which is completely fair and we love you for it. I do want to riff for like 10 minutes because Tim and I don't get to riff as much now that we try to coordinate content a little bit better. And so this is me saying next 10 minutes are us talking about random things specific to AI, as it always is.
Yeah, right.
But I want to go over SaaS Apocalypse and I want to show you this new tool called Super Agent that I found.
Okay, cool.
But what were you going to say first?
Go for it. I like that. I like that plan.
Okay. So SaaS Apocalypse, let me get a little QR code up here of the Forbes article that I'm talking through. I actually heard it first on Smarter X's podcast. So they're the ones that Dan Kershaw sends us to all the time. How do I spell apocalypse? I can't spell and talk to the same apocalypse. Basically, Claude, I think what they'd said was it's up in the corner here on this side. Okay. Claude released sort of like, let's call it a competitor to LegalZoom, and is pretty good. And so all of a sudden, all of these SaaS company stocks just dropped. Like Wall Street panicked. And then they all started calling it SaaS apocalypse, which I just think is hilarious. I shouldn't laugh. Like, it's funny because I appreciate their insight. SmarterX is an organization that's been around for a very long time. They've actually been doing AI education for a very long time, but they do a lot focused on marketing. That's kind of where they were before they became one of the leaders in AI. And they did like a literal 2.5 hour episode where they just go over the questions that they get sent in. And he got so excited to just talk about SaaS apocalypse first that he was like, all right, we're going to wait on the question for a second. Like, have you heard about it? Have you heard it? And that's when I started going down this deep dive. There's implications across the board. I want to be clear. I am not even remotely close to a financial advisor. I don't actually understand the impact of, like, the true impact of the stocks dropping the way that they did. I just got really excited by the clickbaity term of SaaS apocalypse and like went down a rabbit hole. So I want to be like super clear that I understand there are real. That's awesome. Oh, did you just share your screen or did that just come up? See, Restream hates us
Screen.
today.
I did not at all share my screen.
I wonder. It did that to me earlier too.
But it dropped me out too, right?
That's what it did to me. It dropped me and then it popped a screen up that I didn't want to show. I mean, it
Okay,
was like
all right.
I think it was a SaaS apocalypse thing.
Yeah, right.
It happens. Again, I mean, tech is finicky. But anyway, since it's the first time hearing about it, Tim Lockey, what do you think? The name's dope, right?
The name is dope. It's
awesome.
interesting. I was talking with I was talking with Woodrow Rosenbaum yesterday about some of this and Tim Serantonio. And
just started it.
What's there's a couple of things happening in the world right now. And financial markets are definitely paying attention to what Claude Code's doing, but it lines up on other things that are happening as well. And one of those is that the moat that, like, the reason everybody was using these big platforms before was that, you know, everybody's looking for the one ring to rule them all kind of a solution.
Yes.
And that doesn't matter anymore. In 2 weeks ago, I built a HubSpot integration full sync as a sales tool because HubSpot's reporting is so bad. So for a client on a coaching call, just to show them something, I literally built a two-way sync that is pulling in their HubSpot data. They can see it on the dashboard and they can send information back if they want to. And then for kicks and giggles, we just added a heat map to show where in the world, literally like a map of where customers were. And I did that in Claude Code. That would have been a, $70,000 for the integration, $25,000 for a heat map, like we're talking over $100,000 and it was done in an hour, right? The bar on code has come down so much now that it is faster to rebuild an app to handle weird eddy details on like an ETL or an extract, transform and reload kind of solution than it is to go fix the original architecture because data is so fast to move now. My point on all of this is just the world's shifted and everybody is mad at SaaS products because they've never cared if you're actually successful. They only care if you're paying your monthly dues, right? And so I think that what's emerging is software in the future will only be viable if it is successful at the outcomes that it's intending, not if it is successful at the deliverables. Does that make sense? And so Claude is actually decreasing, and it is Claude Code. It's not the other ones. It is Claude Code that is decreasing intent to outcomes to like a tiny fraction of what it used to cost.
Oh
like
my gosh,
almost nothing, right?
So I'm struggling right now. Good use case. I'm struggling right now. I have 8 million Slack, not channels, like pages, right? So like I've got Human Stack, I've got Furniture Bank, I've got I've got all these different ones that I have to log in, and then I've got this thing on the side, and there's just like a perpetual notification there.
Right. Yeah.
I can't freaking figure out how to like get them all in one. There are a couple tools that I can do it through, but I was like, this has got to exist, right? So I just started building it. And I like, it's not completely there yet, but I made it so like I could filter to the ones I want to see, when it'll alert me. It just lives on my computer. I don't need this to, and this is where my fluency,
Yeah.
I don't need anybody else to want it. If I want to be more
Yeah.
fluent someday, I will figure out a better way to do it. And I will say, on the inverse, and to the credit of SaaS companies, for another, like for a client, I'm essentially building like a version of a project management tool, we'll say, through Airtable.
Yeah.
I am learning all of the things the hard way instead of through the institutional knowledge of having worked in a SaaS company or worked in software, because I'm seeing like, so we started Airtable as an awesome tool where like it can hold a lot of relational data. So think like any of your CRMs, it could be what you would consider the back end of the CRM. So like it literally could build all of your tables, how things relate, etc. What's crazy is Airtable also allows you to do like an upfront or front facing interface. And so it took 5 months for me to finally be like, all right, I'm booting all of you out of the back end and you're only getting the front end. And then I was just forced to make the front end look more user friendly. And the automations piece, that like, do they need to see that this automation was run, or does it just run in the background and automatically happen for them? Does it email? Does it update in the record or not, etc.? So it was just funny because I'm like, oh, I'm literally like, I can hear the I told you so's from people who never talked to me before. And I think that's important to note too, that there is learnings that this process doesn't, I won't learn that unless I do it because I've never been in it.
My point was about to be that,
Yeah.
Sammy, that like you don't learn language in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
You learn language by talking and interacting and
doing.
Right. So language is so interesting because it is an instant feedback loop. Right.
Yep.
So you get it right, one thing happens. You get it wrong, nothing happens, or something bad happens. Right. Like, I think that's so. It's funny to me because I know you're way more fluent than you think, and B,
oh, for sure,
your fluency rises to the level of necessity. So as you put yourself in places where you need to understand why a DevOps, flow works and why language is important, and to say words that communicate explicit meaning, like when you're in that situation and you find out, oh, this one gets me a result I like and the other one doesn't, it becomes just a practical choice. And I think that's what I feel like that's what I want to see people do in early fluency or literacy, is just see if you start prompting with a framework, what happens, right?
mm-hmm.
Just that little step.
Just try it. Yeah. And that's what the Promptinator helps you do. So you don't have to takes a little of thinking out of that. We'll show Super Agent another time.
I really do want to see what you built with iTable. The other thing, I'm going to brag on you.
Oh, with Airtable?
I walked into a meeting last
That's
week. I walked
awesome.
into a meeting last week with a client that you and I are both working with, who's Dan Kershaw, right? So,
Ayo.
And we walked in. You had built an entire like insight dashboard on linear data, so that you and others could see exactly what you were looking for. And it was amazing, right? Like that's,
it was cool.
If I could just bottle that like ability to just be like, well, I wonder if I can do this, and then you just do it. I just think that's amazing. I think it
was very fun, and it helped us understand, because we're switching tools, doing some of that. So it just helped us as a group understand like what can be done. What's really interesting for me though is none of that cost me any money, which I think is very.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have to figure out like how. I mean, I have some tools that like obviously I'm paying for the tool, but like the hosting of that dashboard, it's live and on the web. I don't know why that didn't cost me money. Like it's a free Versal host,
right,
which is very interesting. So Yeah, no, it's super fun, and I definitely have been leaning into a lot of these this last week, and just seeing what our tools that we've been playing with for
Yeah.
2-3 years now.
Yeah.
There's so many updates. There's
Yeah.
so many, like,
It is
part of me
just
is like, you know
accelerating
what?
so
We might
fast.
take some of February back and like go through just like let's walk through Gemini and see what's updated. I mean, there's
Mhm.
workflows in Google, and they're like
Yeah, it's
things are
just moving
crazy.
so
So
fast.
we'll see.
All right. Sammy, as always, thank you so much. There are events
Yeah.
coming up that I'm speaking at
Mm.
that we are going to start talking about next week. I know the monthly giving summit is coming up. There
Whoop, whoop.
is the you've got it right there. Okay,
I
monthly
got that
giving
one.
coming up. Coming up. I can't wait to speak at this. I can't wait for Dana to show the app that she's been building. I saw your feedback to
I
Dana
was gonna say, did you see my
yesterday.
crazy QA feedback
Oh
I sent
my
to her?
gosh. Yes, exactly. And so that monthly giving app is just such a work of art. We need to have
Insane.
Dana come in and talk through
I would love
building
that.
that. Um and then also there's a fundraising summit coming up with
Mhm.
Cosvox that I'm going to be at, and then responsive with Virtuous is coming up.
Yes.
So we're into the spring season.
Season of
Can't
the
wait to that,
conferences.
and should be great. Sammy, thanks as always.
Yeah, of course. We'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye, everybody.